Hello everyone, welcome to Collective Guidance Tarot. So if you hear any noises in the background, that is because I am currently doing my laundry. So yeah, I basically live in a bachelor apartment, so everything is here. So you can basically hear when I'm busy doing my laundry. I have the heater on because it is cold where I am, although it's spring, so it has been like raining, it's very cloudy. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. So this is going to be quite a controversial reading because there are things that like stuff that I've been wanting to say, but at this point I feel like I just don't care because it's something that needs to be said, but remember that is my opinion. Whatever it is that I'm going to say in this video is my opinion and my opinion alone, and I'm not saying this to be disparaging to anyone, like Megan Markle said when she was talking about Kate. Yeah, sad times. I don't mean to be disparaging, but that's what she did. So basically, I'm saying that I don't mean to be, but I know that I'm going to be disparaging. Sharp. Let's begin. I just woke up. Like, I woke up from a nap. I was busy today running around chasing after like interviews and stuff, but then I was extremely exhausted. So I just took a nap. I'm a little bit, I have energy, so that is also a positive thing because I need that energy, especially for this reading. Let us begin. That is me moving my chair. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can hear me. So I'm going to talk about stuff, and it's just going to be like a free flowing reading where I'm talking and then I'm also doing tarot. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is how they met, how Harry met Meghan. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the social climbing and the exchange that goes on in those type of dynamics. Sharp. Yeah. Okay. So I see this mystic card as spirit saying this is the go ahead. You can do this because the mystic card is someone that has spiritual truth. They have access to what is often unseen, and yeah, with the dead end, it's basically confirming when I said that I'm going to talk about the controversial things because the dead end can be something dark, something that is unseen, something that is buried, basically the end of something. Maybe it's time that we actually had this conversation and stopped acting like people are innocent, because if you know, people that are in Hollywood are not innocent. Actually, people in general are not innocent. I'm going to talk about, I just got another message. And another thing that I'm going to talk about is Meghan Markle's obsession with this like cultish. She's currently into like veganism, holistic living and stuff, but before there were things that there was something that she was into. Like, she's someone that, I don't know, I think they're called like religious gypsy, someone that moves from one religion. They're basically always trying out different things. Okay, so let me speak about myself. Number one, I am a Christian and I do tarot. And I've never denied that. I was first a Christian before I did tarot. Um, okay, I tried doing horoscope readings, like the what is it, horoscope? Sign, like the birth signs, like Libras and whatever. I tried doing that, but that's not what I was supposed to do, and it was just something that I was never interested in, like the numerology of stuff. I was never into that. That's why I'm sure if you guys have noticed, I never mention a person's sign, or like the numerology of things, because that is something that's like a different side of divination and stuff. So that's a message that I got, and that is also something that I've been wanting to talk about, which ties into her obsession with wanting to be part of Hollywood. So she's someone that experiments a lot, especially with religions and stuff. So that's the message that I'm getting at the moment. So we're first going to start with how they really met. Okay, so I'm just going to start speaking. How they met is that basically there are people that they sell their bodies for stuff. There's that exchange. There are people that are on the streets, those are people that you see on a daily basis. There are people that do it discreetly that you don't see. They probably using their phones, whatever, to get clients or whatever. And there are people that do it in a much more professional, organized way. And a lot of the people that in Hollywood, some of them have actually done that. And Megan, although she was not part of Hollywood, she is someone that actually did that. That's how she met Harry. Because even the people that she, the social climbing, or the people that the people that actually helped her to get to the top, the men that were there was some sexual exchange, because let's be all honest, we are not kids. Like, some things in life don't come for free, and as a woman, sometimes there are things that you have to do to do whatever you have to do. And a lot of these celebrities in Hollywood actually do that. And the shady stuff about her actually being engaged to someone else and going on dates, it just proves the type of profession that she was doing and how she was getting her money at the time. And I don't even think that she was making a lot of money while she was acting on that series Suits, because no one really watched that and her role wasn't that big. But there are things that you have to do on the side, and you also need to understand that, okay, although she was worth 1 million when she met Harry, for someone that lives her lifestyle, that million is not enough. 1 million is not enough for someone that lives, like a fancy life where they wear a bunch of expensive clothes, whatever. That's why she didn't even have a home of her own, like a fancy looking home, like a mansion like she has right now. I know that people are probably gonna say that I'm mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's the reality of where we live in. It's just that Harry actually fell in love with someone that he was seeing at the moment, and the whole stuff about uh, them actually going on a blind date, blah 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 blah. That is BS. That is complete BS. She knew what she was doing. It was an exchange. I don't think Harry is even the first person that she had an exchange with, at Soho. That is BS. Yeah, removing I told you. You see, even do you guys remember when about that when I was doing a reading on Harry's memoir, I did say that the book would actually force the royals to do something. And what did the Queen do? After a month or so, we started hearing news that the Queen is taking legal actions. I've been telling you, here's the card, and I've been seeing this card, removing the veil of deception. That is complete BS. The whole thing of, oh, we went on a blind date, blah, 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 blah. That was done, for the public, to sort of protect their public image. She was someone that he was messing with, and it just happened that he fell in love with what he was messing with, because make it make sense that someone who is engaged at the time is going out and looking for a potential husband. Like, guys, make it make sense. Think about it. Unless we also know that there are women that are actually married that are doing they are living this discreet lifestyle, this secretive lifestyle on the side. So he's not the first. Yeah, he fell in love. He fell in love. He saw her as the one, but then the one is coming out in reverse, which means that there was lack of judgment. The pilgrimage. The pilgrimage is a religious card, good faith, something that is done according to God's will, something that is done accordingly. It was divinely guided, but no, this was done. It was something that was done in a shady manner. That's why the pilgrimage is coming out in reverse, and also the pilgrimage is a spiritual path. So, since it's coming out in reverse, this is someone that was deviating from their spiritual path. As you can see, there's a Buddhist monk. You know how the Buddhist monks can be sexually active, blah blah blah, like all the other stuff that's involved with you actually being a Buddhist monk. This is coming out in reverse, and we're seeing the eyeball, which tells us that I just talked about abstinence, like celibacy, like, yeah, that whole thing where you're abstaining from sex. So it's telling us that this was not done in good faith. Why? Because the Buddhist has to be one with their religious path, which goes back to the pilgrimage. Whatever they do, is that card? What is the Oh, yeah, I'm holding the pilgrimage. Whatever they do, it has to be done in good faith. And also, if you see a mountain, it's like climbing through, going through, all the struggles that monks have to go through. And then when you get to the peak, that's when you are like, you've basically mastered yourself. You've mastered your desires, your sexual desires, whatever. But then this card is coming out in the shadow, which means also doing stuff in the dark that you're not supposed to do. And also the eyeball tells us that this is something that is unseen, something that is underneath the surface. They're removing the veil of deception. What deception are we removing? Something that is buried, that we don't know of. There's actually a lot that we don't know of. Why? The forest, you cannot pinpoint like specific trees in a forest. When you're looking at a forest, it's so vast that you cannot pinpoint. There's that It's uniform, everything looks the same. So, and also the forest, also with you cannot pick out a specific tree from a forest. It also talks about how life can there is so much that can be hidden away from us that we don't see. It's like that forest. But when you go inside and you become part of the forest, that's when you actually discover the stuff, that there is actually life. But then when you're looking at the forest from the outside, it looks still, it looks quiet. But then once you become one with it, then you start to see the life, that there's basically a whole ecosystem going on here. There's basically a lot that's going on here. But when you're outside looking in, it looks quiet, it looks still, it looks like everything is perfect until you become one with the forest. Yeah, I hope that was clear. That is complete BS. But the perfume stuff, that is true. But the whole thing of, oh, it was a blind date, blah 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 blah, he just fell in love with someone that he was messing with. So yeah, there's some shady stuff. Make it make sense how a woman that is engaged is going on dates. Yeah, the bridge is basically talking about this connection that we are currently discussing. So yeah, with the social climbing stuff, and also the bridge is like a building of networks of connections. And also remember, I spoke about the Buddhist card, the sexuality stuff. When a Buddhist is, when it's coming out in the light, then it means that you are on your correct path. You are resisting temptations. But since it came out in the shadow, it basically explains what I'm saying, that the social climbing, there is a lot that we don't know about that. There is actually quite a few people that know her. You know what I mean when I say know her. So yeah. And also, I don't want to touch on the Andrew part. That's one person that I don't want to bring on my channel. Yeah, the healer in reverse. The healer in reverse is also someone that is manipulative, using black magic. And you guys have been asking me about the black magic stuff, but I think that anything that is done bad can be considered as witchcraft. There's a song by Oliver Mtukuz. It says it's the name of the song is Horoi. So in the song he talks about how being an why did I reference that song? Okay, now I get it. He talks about how like being ungrateful is witchcraft, and in that song he's describing a relationship between him and his husband, no, him and his wife, sorry, him and his wife, sorry. So he's saying in that song, he's basically saying that he has the husband that he has the wife that he has today because of how she was raised. So he has to be grateful to the people that actually raised her, and that is where you have to be. He's saying that you have to be grateful, because if I'm not grateful, then you know being ungrateful is witchcraft. And I don't know why that's the song that I got, because it's basically explaining the same thing that is going on with Harry. She was not she needs to understand that, you know, all these other things, if Harry didn't have all these other things, him being royal, him being whatever, he has his family to thank for that. And them being ungrateful for the stuff that the family has done for them is actually witchcraft. And also, you need to understand that in relationships where there's an exchange, where like one person is offering this in an exchange for this, there's some you have to conjure up some energies, like some, yeah, messed up energies. That is not a good energy, because that also talks about moving away from your spiritual path, you know be giving in to sexual desires. And we all know that, yeah, you basically have to conjure up. And also, when you know that you are engaged to someone else, or there is some type of commitment that you've made to someone else, but you are messing around with another individual, then yeah, that is some messed up stuff. On a spiritual level, that is really messed up. So yeah, you basically have to conjure up some whatever, because that is it's a disconnect, it's a split from your higher self. So which means that now you are conjuring up other energies that you're not supposed to be it's this thing is not being done in good faith. That's basically what I'm saying. Forget everything that you know about them meeting up like a date setup. That is BS. The Starborn. Okay, so the Starborn with the one, I've seen these two cards together. He fell in love with her. They had an exchange, whatever they had here. They were having an exchange. He fell in love with her, but then she had other intentions, which is to be the stubborn, to be like recognized, because the stubborn is someone that is recognized. And also, I don't know if you guys can see the cracking of an egg. It's she had all these big ideas. She had all these big agendas that she wanted to put out there. But then the moment when the royal family noticed that this is what she's trying to do, they sort of became hostile against her. There's the agape card coming out in the shadow, which is when it's in the light, it's conditional love. When it's in the shadow, is no, when it's in the light, it's unconditional love. When it's in the shadow, it's conditional love, which explains the whole vibe, the whole relationship with the narcissist. So yeah, she wanted to create different ideas, but then they were like, no, that whole story of them going on a date, blah blah blah, meeting up, that is complete BS. It was created just to paint this fairy tale picture. Yeah, even thingy with the perfume thing. She when it's that that whole transaction that happens with sexual stuff and whatever. The woman usually knows the client that is like coming in. So yeah, especially in places like that whole place. So the one that starts with S. So whole house, that one. it's done in a very professional way. So I think she knew who was coming in. That's when the strategic planning came in, where yeah, she knew what she was doing. She knew that this is someone that actually went to the place frequently. She knew that Harry did visit the place frequently, and she did have like a strategy set in place that okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to wear this. I know that he has a, he hasn't really healed from his mother. He has a soft spot. If I mention his mom, then he's going to start opening up. Yeah, the tear opening up, emotional spot. This is emotions. That's the card that's explaining what I'm saying about, the emotional part. And the sword in reverse, it's basically talking about we haven't really been given the whole truth, because the sword is coming out in the shadow. And it's coming out in the shadow, then it tells us that there is a lot that is hidden, because the sword is the truth, the sword of truth. So there is a lot that we don't know. Even the whole story about the perfume, whatever, that is true, but how they met is actually a secret. It's something that we don't know of. We were lied to. So connect the dots, think critically, then you understand what I'm talking about. Because there's no way that a woman that is engaged she's engaged. When you engage, like there's that energy of, oh, I actually want to get married to this individual. How do you go from being engaged to someone and looking for like a potential someone to marry? Make it make sense. So it was a transaction, people know. But then the problem, I think the mistake that the royal family made when she first came into the scene, and they noticed that actually Harry actually wanted to marry her, and there was nothing that they could do about it. They were like, okay, fine, let's clean things up. There's a lot of cleaning up that needs to be done, especially with someone of a public image like hers. She's been divorced, blah blah blah. Not they assumed that not a lot is known about her, so they tried to clean things up. As they came up with a story, hey, we actually met up, it was a blind date. That's why when they were both asked about, okay, how did you guys meet, who introduced you, they didn't really want to reveal that, because there are people that played a role in getting her to, which is the social climbing part. There are people that played a role to, get her to closer to him, but the final stuff was actually, yeah, them actually having a sexual relationship. Nothing was supposed to happen. A marriage was not supposed to happen. But certain things were done, certain manipulative things were done that basically secured the deal for her, which is emotional manipulation. A lot was hidden. And yeah, like he didn't know when he started messing with her that she was actually engaged. Because if you remember correctly, not a lot was known about her. Even right now, we all still scratching for information, because yeah, the royal family actually made that mistake of cleaning up her stuff, because they didn't want it to have like a negative image on them. So, and also it ties back to when I told you the other day that there is piece of information that they know, but they won't release directly. They are waiting for her to do something stupid, but this piece of information is going to be released through someone else. And when that person does, yeah, this is actually a reputable person, and we won't question that person. I don't think the person is Piers Morgan, because obviously Piers Morgan had some type of relation with her, and when he speaks out about her, people see him as, oh, you better blah blah blah, you better old white man. You get what I'm saying? So whoever it is that is going to reveal this piece of information is actually going to be someone that is quite credible. That's where they made a mistake, because when she came to the scene, they cleared things up for her to make way for this beautiful fantasy, this marriage, young couple. And number one, they're not even young, they're in their 40s. Yeah, guys, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for always supporting me, and hello to the new people. Welcome back to the old ones. Stay blessed, be kind to yourselves and your families. Take a break if you need a break, if you're tired. rest, get enough sleep. Thank you for watching. Bye.